everyone, Kristina Werner here. Welcome to another video for SimonsStamp.com. Today I'm going to be using the Snowflake Season Stamp Set, which is included in the January 2021 card kit. This has a lot of images, and so I'm going to be making some one-layer cards. This idea came to me and I thought, you know what, this is perfect for sending cards in the mail. These are going to be super simple and easy to create. I'm going to do two different color palettes, starting out with Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide ink, and I'm blending in from the bottom of this white cardstock. This cardstock is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so is the full size of a card front. After I had that picked raspberry coming in from one side, I then came in with some seedless preserves, and I'm going to intensify the color at the darkest edge. It's going to give me a really nice fade from a purpley violet shade up into that pink. And I did go back to the pink just to soften out that blend a little bit, and it turned out really, really pretty. For my second color palette, I'm starting out with Mowed Lawn, and I'll be adding this blending from the same side that I did with the pink and purple combination. And then I'm going to be adding some, I think I used pine needles, and then also chipped sapphire. Now, the look of these cards was actually inspired by the pattern paper that is included in the card kit. It's a beautiful set of pattern paper. It has fading colors and kind of a bokeh effect, kind of really sparkly. So I'm taking that inspiration and sort of making my own version on this cardstock with some ink blending. So I've got that pine needles, and I'm going to finish off with chipped sapphire. By the way, the blending tools that I'm using today are blender brushes from Honeybee. So I'll blend on that chipped sapphire, go back to a little bit of that pine needles, and that fades out all of those colors. So now I'm going to do a bunch of stamping, and I want you to take note of where I'm placing the inked panels. It's inside my Misty tool, and I've brought it over so that the left edge just lines up with that first line on my grid paper in my Misty. And I'm making note of that right now because I'm going to keep the stamp on the door of my Misty and stamp the second panel as well without having to move the stamp. So I'm using some seedless preserves on the pink version. It's going to have a nice tone-on-tone effect. And after I have this completely stamped, I'm just going to clean off that stamp, replace the project inside my Misty, and then stamp the same image in chipped sapphire. And this just saves me a lot of time. And if you wanted to do, 4, 5, 6 different card panels all at the same time, you could use this same method. So it's just a great way to get multiples of the same card design. And I did that with these last little bits of stamping as well. I've got the Hello Friend greeting circle from the stamp set and 4 small little glistening snowflake images. After I have the images on the door of my Misty, I'm going to line up that edge with the line of my grid paper once again, and then I'll stamp. And the reason I'm having it not all the way to the edge of my Misty is because I do have that snowflake that's running off the edge. So I'll stamp that down really well. It's a very solid image, but the Distress Oxide inks are beautiful to stamp with. So don't be afraid to stamp with your oxides. The regular Distress inks or the original Distress inks, that's a different story. I don't like to stamp with those as much, but the oxides work beautifully for stamping. Going back to that chipped sapphire, and after I cleaned off those stamps, I inked them up with chipped sapphire and then stamped down onto my green and blue panel. So both of these designs are pretty much done at this point, and they were so quick and easy to complete. I'm now creating my card bases out of some Neenah Classic Crest 110-pound Solar White cardstock, and I'll place my card panels right on the front of these card bases. I just prepped them by scoring them at 5 1/2 to create side folding cards. So now I'm using Unicorn Confetti glitter from Simons Stamp. I've never done glitter quite this way, but I wanted to use the glitter from the card kit as well as the glue included in the card kit. So put little dabs of glue and then sprinkled on the glitter. Now, I had never done this before, so I'm just going to give you guys a heads up on my experience. The glitter, for the most part, stays on the glue without any problem. What you'll want to do is tap it over a trash can just from the back with your fingernail or your finger so that it shakes off any of that excess glitter. And after you've let it dry completely, it doesn't take too long, maybe about 20 minutes for everything to dry, go ahead and tap it again and it'll get rid of any stray glitter that wants to fall off. At that point, there's not much glitter that flakes off. I think it's going to go through the mail super well, and they turned out beautiful. You can get all the supplies that I used on today's cards over at SIMONSStamp.com, including the card kit, which includes the stamp set, the glitter, and the glue that I used in today's video.